So you know what's better than some baseball, though, Brig?
More baseball.
Expansion.
Yes.
Let's bring 2 more teams into this mess.
Welcome. We've got
sure
wings.
You want to know this? Yeah, exactly. So there's been speculation that there are 2 frontrunners. The 2 frontrunners have emerged in the expansion race. One of them is Nashville. We called this 5 years ago when we first started
like
talking about
100 years ago. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely makes sense. But the one that we didn't call, that we thought didn't make a lot of sense, but is starting to actually make more sense as things progress because there's a legitimate plan in place and they're pushing really, really, really hard for it, is Salt Lake City.
Yeah, they are.
Pretty
and
cool.
I am a little bit, I didn't see that coming.
No, not even a little bit. But so I kept, my thing with Salt Lake was I kept saying there's not the corporate money. There's not the corporate money there. But this is the thing, is that I keep forgetting about Silicon Slopes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money down there. One dude who grew up playing junior jazz, rec league basketball, is now a billionaire and had enough money to buy the team outright.
Yep.
If there's that kind of money down there, there is more money like that. And the Millers, who previously owned the Jazz, have put together a massive $3.5 billion proposal to turn what they're calling the Power District. It's an area. Actually, my dad used to work in this area.
Oh yeah.
When I was a wee lad, they're going to turn this whole area into a entertainment and shopping complex, and have the baseball stadium be the focal point of all of it. And they want to put a team right there. It is not far from downtown, easy to get to, and I'm pretty sure that there's a light rail stop that's going to be right there.
Train,
if it's not there already,
doesn't the train already go through there? And
what's I'm saying, the light rail, yeah, it's like right there, so it's easy, super easy to get to.
For sure.
So it could really work out.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. There are other teams in the mix. Brig, you want to talk about some of these teams?
Yeah, so the other teams in the mix are Charlotte, Vegas, Montreal, Portland, Sacramento, and San Antonio. And I got a couple of details here that I think are interesting that have come up to support these other team names or locations. So Charlotte, Vegas both have AAA facilities already. So does Sacramento. Portland has a high A club. San Antonio has a double A club. And obviously Montreal hasn't had any baseball there since the Expos left, which is just terrible. Montreal has the highest metro population of the teams in this group, to include Nashville and Salt Lake City. The Salt Lake City has the smallest metro area by population size. It's the least populated metro area on this list.
Despite their best efforts. Dude, they're gonna blow into that mountain trying to create more real estate in that valley.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna drain the lake. I don't know what
I was gonna say they're gonna have to drain one of the lakes.
They want to put so many more people in that valley, but there just is not the real estate space for it.
There's not. That's why places like Mount Pleasant are expanding dramatically. Mm-hmm. And when I was coming up, Mount Pleasant was like the boonies, man.
Right.
Nothing happened out there.
Where my sister lives down there was like cow pastures, and now it's so densely populated. It's bananas out there.
So Nashville and Salt Lake, obviously, they have AAA facilities there. And just to give you a context of the metro population, Nashville has 1.27 million people populating their metro area, and Milwaukee has the lowest metro area by population in Major League Baseball at 1.56 million. So they're already holding a Major League club in Milwaukee at 1.56. Nashville only has 1.27. So just to give you an idea, maybe it's Salt Lake. I think it's Salt Lake actually has 1.27. I maybe put that in the wrong spot. But now let's go down and see what these cities. Wow, I can talk.
Well, hold on. Let's look at these real quick, because I think we could honestly cross some of these off the list.
Yeah,
right.
Let's do that.
I think we can take Vegas off the list because they're likely going to get the A's.
And if they don't, I don't think they'll get a major league club. Let's be honest.
Right. And I think if they don't, it's because baseball is going to want to punish them, for making that super easy deal with the A's, right? That
Yeah,
sweetheart deal with the A's, making that fall
totally.
through.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, we're not going to come, not this time around, because you couldn't make that happen. You can't make this happen.
Right.
So I
We're
think
not
that's a
doing
problem.
this. There you go.
Montreal, I think there's a reason baseball got out of Montreal. And I think some of
Ooh.
it has to do with language, because I've heard Samson talk about this. David Samson
Yeah.
talk about this. Is there's a language issue. I think there was a currency issue in Montreal that they don't have in Toronto. I don't know for sure, but I think that was
Hmm.
part of it. That there were some logistical problems with having a team in Montreal, that then they were just kind of like, we got to get this team out of here. So that's I think you can take Montreal off the list for that reason. Portland, I think. So originally they were going to have a stadium down on the river, like a really small stadium down on the river on the Willamette. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's fine, but that's going to be terrible. Absolutely awful to get to. But then when they're pitching
Right.
around the idea of like going out to Hillsborough, Tigard, Beaverton, that area, I'm like, okay, that makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah. That's what
That'd
you
be
said last
great.
week too. Yeah.
Yeah, because they've got the Hillsborough Hops out there. If they're out there by that team,
Yeah.
that could work out really, really well.
Yeah.
But again, I worry about the corporate money in Portland unless Phil Knight buys the team. Then they're fine.
Yeah.
Then the team will be in Beaverton and they'll be amazing. Sacramento, if the A's leave, I see this. That's the only reason I see that happening. If the A's were to leave, that's the only time I could see a team in Sacramento.
That's exactly how I feel.
And then I think
Like
it
it
would be
doesn't
cool
make
to
any
have.
sense.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to have a baseball team in San Antonio, so we can have the Texas Triangle in baseball as well.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I think that would be really
I like the
cool. But
Texas Triangle in basketball, but I don't think it would happen.
I don't think they're certainly not in the front runners
No.
discussion here. Now, if Salt Lake City is the farthest from any other Major League Baseball team, they've got Denver. It's like 500 something miles away. It's the farthest. The Sacramento's the nearest to another MLB city
Well,
in
they're
San
right
Francisco.
there with San Francisco
Yeah,
and Oakland.
it's like
So
80 miles or something like
yeah,
that.
it's
It's like
close. And
not
that's
far.
why I don't. That's why if the A's were to end up staying, I wouldn't see Sacramento if they go, possibly. But I think the Giants would just be like, now the market is ours,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So that's
But
what they're going to do.
I think if Nashville or Salt Lake were to fall through, I think that the next best option, the one that makes the most sense, is Charlotte.
Oh yeah, we've been saying that time
Yeah,
immemorial, man.
we said that with Nashville way back when.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Now
that they want to expand two teams right there.
before we move past this, just because there's a little aside going on, in 2004, the Montreal Expos ended their 35-year time, right? Tenure. Thank you, Brad. You're good at this tonight. The tenure, and we are now going to get a documentary. Netflix is putting together a documentary about Montreal's baseball team and why they left, specifically addressing the downfall of the franchise before they moved to Washington. So that got announced like 4 or 5 days ago or 6 days ago, or something like that.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be really interesting to watch and to see how much language and currency played into that.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
It'll be interesting to see if Sampson's involved.
I think he's got to be. He's the one who sold the team.
Exactly. So it'll be like if he's not on camera, I'm going to be a little bit worried.
Yeah. And I'll be questioning everything as well.
Yeah, suddenly I'll be like,